What is up, everybody? Coffee Break is back with another video. We're now moving on to week 2, where the 49ers take on the Seattle Seahawks here in Santa Clara. And, well, we're expected to have some rain in California. Isn't that effing crazy? But I'm sure that's the last thing the 49ers and their fans want to see after losing to the Bears in week 1. And so I wanna touch on just week 1 a little bit. I know I ranted about this right after the game, but it's a constant reminder every year where you have a team that's loaded, their roster looks great, and then you have another team and you say they lost some key pieces. They have no business in being in here. Like, they're almost rebuilding. They are rebuilding. And I'm talking about specifically the Bears winning and Seattle winning both their games in week 1. And I feel like, for the most part, it's nothing that those teams did. Like, they didn't wow you. It's nothing that they did special for their win. Honestly, it boiled down to who made the most mistakes. And when you look at the Broncos on Monday night, I mean, defensively, they had miscommunications, you know, broken assignments, allowed Geno Smith and Seattle to score easy points. Not taking anything away from Seattle, they just played clean football. And I make that point because I don't want to bash, Seattle, or I don't want to bash Chicago for that matter. I make the point because sometimes to win games in the NFL, you just have to play clean football. You don't have to be the most, deep roster or the most talented one. You just have to be able to play smart football. Denver wasn't able to do it. They committed penalties. They, again, broken assignments. I'm sure Russell Wilson is still getting used to all of these. He had a nice connection with, Jerry Jeudy. 49ers on the flip side. Again, penalties. Broken assignment, maybe one or two here and there. And that was it. That was the game. And so it is just a constant reminder that it's not always that the better team wins. It's the smarter, the one that plays cleaner wins. And so you saw that on Sunday with the Niners, and then you saw that on Monday night. And now these two teams, Seattle and the 49ers, face week 2. And so, again, we could go through X's and O's. We could go through the rosters, the mismatches, the X factors here and there. We know the 49ers have the more talented roster, the more weapons, defensively, offensively. But it boils down to who's going to commit the less amount of errors. And so far, the 49ers have been a little sloppy. I mean, if you take it back all the way to preseason. But I'm here to talk about the opponent, Seattle. Because Seattle did lose some pieces. I mean, I'm sure you guys heard about what pieces we lost or gained in the offseason as a Niner fan. But let's stick to the opponent, Seattle, right? We all know the obvious one, Geno Smith, who has been a backup there forever. Russell Wilson not being in the division, I'd say that's a plus for the Niners. Excuse me. He's always been a Niner killer, right? He's always played the Niners well. Seattle in general, Pete Carroll has the 49ers number. And so I can see why fans are a little uneasy, especially when you lose a game when you should have won in week 1. Now, you're not only expected to play a clean football, you are expected to overcome somewhat of a hump that is Seattle Seahawks. So, you have that. Geno Smith. But at the same time, you look at Geno Smith and how he played in week 1. I talked about Broncos having, all of these mistakes happen in the back end of their secondary, whatever the case, miscommunications. But Geno Smith made the plays he needed to make in order for them to win. Extended plays with his legs, something that the Niners struggled with a little bit when it came down to Justin Fields. When he was able to escape, you saw the touchdown, right? And so those are the things you need to be scared of. The 49ers are a really solid defense, but when they're facing guys like Mahomes, Josh Allen, guys who are able to extend plays, it could be a weakness. I mean, it could be a weakness for everybody, for sure. Like, hell, those are the top two guys in the league right now. But, you saw it with Fields. Anyone who can use their legs to extend the plays, it's a problem. So that's going to be the key focus, keeping Geno Smith in the pocket, making him beat you with his arm, not his legs. And it's been a drum we've been beating, since the Harbaugh days, like since that part of the NFL took over. Started with Cap and, Russell Wilson, and it's continued here. So I know we have a strong front four, but that front four can turn into a weakness when you got a guy scrambling out. Now the back end of the defense has to cover for, X amount of time. So again, it could be a problem for everybody, but I emphasize this more because it seems like the Niners just can't play catch up once we're behind. And so you have Geno Smith. You still have the wide receivers, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. You have a new tight end, Noah Fant, who was part of the deal with the Broncos getting Russell Wilson. You have Noah Fant, Will Dissly. They love going two tight end sets. So you'll be seeing a lot of those too. And so at running back, Chris Carson is no longer here. He retired. If you don't remember, really good running back too. Chris Carson. It came as a surprise. Dealt with a lot of injuries for sure. And so now you have Rashad Penny, who is his backup, coming in, and still a really good back. And one thing you can always rely with Pete Carroll's teams is the energy will always be there. Pete Carroll had no business being in that Monday Night Football game, let alone winning it. But, man, his team came out prepared, came out firing on all cylinders. And that's part of the game. That's part of it, effort, energy, intensity. The other team, the opponent, will feel that. Some will even back off of that. Like, oh, snap. Like, these guys came ready to play. I don't know if I'm ready. And so it becomes a game not only of X's and O's, but of intensity. You can expect that with Pete Carroll come Sunday. His team will come ready to play. Special teams. His special teams was phenomenal. Punt return, kickoff. Guys were laying the wood. Niners need to step it up there. They're going to come ready. Defense. So, you lose Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams goes down, I think, with a quad tendon issue. Sounds really painful to have. And I know people give Jamal Adams flack. Like, blitz boy, he can only blitz, yada, yada, yada. But, man, you watch him play. He makes plays. And he's not the best coverage guy, but you don't need him to be that. Seattle wasn't counting on him to be that. Play like, that Jacoby Tart sort of role. Play in the box, but better. Like, he's a really good guy who could play safety, but could also drop into the box, be a linebacker, or even rush to quarterback. I think that's where he's at his best. Blitz boy, yes, but he's goddamn good at it. So the Seattle Seahawks are going to miss the intensity, the energy Jamal Adams bring. And, with him and Quandre Diggs, they had a really good safety duo there. And so now it's just Quandre Diggs, who's still really good. Top safety for sure. And so you have that up front. The edges definitely go in favor of 49ers when you have like Bosa and Samson Ebukam and all these other waves of guys that they bring. But you look at Seattle's defensive tackles, and Al Woods, nose tackle, pretty damn good. And Puna Ford, there you go. Puna Ford, pretty damn good defensive tackles. So this is definitely going to be a challenge for the 49ers guards, Spencer Burford and Aaron Banks. How are they going to, step up to the challenge there? But yeah, I did see Denver run the football well on Seattle. I'm not sure why they just didn't continue that. If I'm Shanahan, I'm just looking at it from the standpoint of, let's just get back to the basics. Let's just play some clean football. I know Elijah Mitchell's out, but Jeff Wilson Jr., he's been here for 4 years, whatever the case may be. You're going to be the workhorse today. And so I'm starting with the run, first, second down, run. And then, sprinkle some lands here and there. Hell, maybe sprinkle some lands runs. I know guys are worried about him getting hurt. He has to learn how to slide, though. Like, that's just the bottom line. But he's here because he can do that for you. Jimmy Garoppolo can't do that for you, but he can. Going back to the basics, and just running the football heavy in this one. It's going to be physical. We all know Seattle brings that. I already talked about the energy. We're going to need to bring that same intensity here and run the football, So kind of expecting that. Bobby Wagner, of course, he's now with the Rams, no longer a part of the Seahawks. And so here we are. Jordan Brooks has now stepped into that role. Really good linebacker. But again, 49ers do have the matchups here. I don't think Kittle's going to be playing. Hasn't practiced all week. 49ers have to just come play cleaner football. People will be freaking out. Niners lose this game for whatever reason. There's going to be chaos here in the Bay Area. But I anticipate, again, Niners, if all goes well, if they play clean football. And also, let's protect the goddamn football, man. I'm tired of these fumbles, you're in the red zone, missed opportunities. Let's capitalize. Let's get into a groove. Let's get into a rhythm. Trey Lance's 4th official start. We'll see how that goes. But anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you all for watching my video. And as always, we'll see you on the next one. Peace.